Hello, everyone. My name is Pompey, and you might be wondering what is going on here. What is happening in this Minecraft YouTube video that's going on? And honestly, I think all I can say is that I am just looking for a way to express what I think, what I have going on in my head. I feel oftentimes that my thoughts are trapped in my head, and that this might be a good outlet for me to just speak into the void. I think the really interesting thing about where our world is right now with the internet is that everyone has a voice. Everyone can say something. When I was younger, growing up, I was like the first generation to really have the opportunity to like come home, hop on the home computer, and just watch YouTube. Your OGs, your Smosh, right? Your Markipliers, Jacksepticeye's, Captain Sparkles for those that are in the Minecraft sphere, PewDiePie, right? Like all of these big names that were so fundamental in the creation of YouTube and its success, and then now to where it is now, being under the purchase of Google and all of that, right? I feel that everyone has the opportunity to have a voice. Oftentimes, people use their voice, but in my experience, from what I've seen, I've gotten kind of disgruntled with where things currently are with Twitch and YouTube and TikTok and all of that. This footage that you're seeing right now on the screen is from my Twitch. This is where I streamed the Minecraft that I was playing and just kind of chilled and chatted with the people in there. So if that's something that you're interested in hanging out and doing, come head over to my Twitch, twitch.tv/Pompey Live. And please make sure, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, like the video, comment. Obviously, this channel is brand new. I'm not a big YouTuber. I don't have some scheme that's going to get me big and rich. Honestly, this is just my form of journaling. I think it's important to give a little background information of just like who I am. I don't want to get super in depth because I think that ultimately, like, my personal life isn't as relevant here, but just kind of like, the spark notes, I guess. And then also, I do apologize. I'm a bit under the weather. So I have a mug next to me with emergency. So please excuse me if I have to take a short break and sip something. But I promise I'll try and move along quickly. But I really just wanted to take the time to talk about what I'm feeling. Again, use this as my journal, as my call into the void, just to express what I'm feeling. That way, I don't feel as though, my emotions go nowhere, right? That way, I feel like there is an output and I'm not in this cyclical feedback loop, right? And realistically, I think where I'm at is just anxiety, right? I'm a 23-year-old college graduate who is now just a year into the workforce, okay? And for many of you, everyone has different paces in life, different backgrounds. Everyone's got different stuff going on. So it's very possible that, like, some of you are in school still. Some of you maybe have been working a full-time job for a few years now. Maybe some of you didn't go to college and you're an entrepreneur, or maybe you're just figuring things out and you also don't know what you want to do. And that's fantastic. I find that it's so easy for me to be supportive and uplifting of other people. But for some reason, when it comes to me and where I'm at, I am like the world's greatest critic. And that's not, obviously that's not something that's like profound, right? I'm not saying like, oh, wow, I just made the world's greatest discovery. Call me, the next Aristotle. Of course not. I guess what I'm doing and saying that out loud and saying that to you is that part of it is just in recognizing that it exists, right? Just saying, oh, yeah, right. Of course, I do this thing, right? Of course, it is hard for me to be accepting of my actions, hard to be accepting of where I'm at in life. that person is doing great in life because they have X, Y, and Z. But suddenly when I look inward, oh, I should have this. Oh, I should have that. Oh, I should be here doing this, right? And I don't think that the world is helping. Like, I don't think that the things going on around us are really helping with anything that's going on, you know? Let's talk about TikTok, YouTube, streaming, like Twitch. Everything has a gimmick. Like I'll be the first to tell you, I think it's so fun to watch all the TikTok clips of like the IRL phase streamers, right? The clippers and all that, like the people playing the game. And the game is awesome and it's funny, it's entertaining, it's cool. But it's disingenuous. Like everything on YouTube feels fake. Everything on YouTube feels like it's somebody trying to hit the algorithm just right. You know? Everything feels like it's people trying to cash out instead of just like making cool stuff, right? Making things that are interesting to watch or making things that are fun to experience. Everything has to have like a cool, zany intro, right? It has to have a hook that draws you in. But I guess I'm just more confused as to why, you know? And this whole series that I'm considering doing is just going to be me. It's just going to be me talking. You know, I really have always thought it's cool to do like the podcast thing. I enjoy watching podcasts or listening to podcasts, I should say. I enjoy a great number of these, but you know, there's enough podcasts in the world. Excuse me. Just bumped my desk. There's enough podcasts in the world, especially like a group of guys, you know. We're just a group of 4 friends who decided to make a podcast and make it big together in Hollywood. You know, like that whole thing. I'm sure in me saying that, there's 4 podcasts at least that come to mind that fit that bill. Or 2 friends, right, who talk about some niche topic, you know, whatever it is. And it's great that those people are successful. It's great that people enjoy watching those things. But in thinking about what I wanted to do and thinking about like what is cool for me, podcast felt disingenuous, right? Making a YouTube channel where I just talk and do kind of like a let's play style content seems pretty cool. Because honestly, if I can be so blunt, I wish I was back in 2011 watching Captain Sparkle's ultra modded survival, where he's in Jerry's tree, you know, has, you know, Maya Knight is back, like all of these things. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's so fine. It definitely was a very specific reference. but that's just like everyone had, like, the internet was so small back then. It was so niche. You know, I remember coming home every day from school, and I was fortunate enough to where my dad worked in IT. So he built computers. I grew up building computers. So we always had a home PC because he was fortunate enough to be able to get like those spare parts from his work whenever a PC broke. Because I don't know, many of you maybe you don't know, a lot of parts go into a PC, but also a lot of times one specific part breaks, and especially at like a company level back when you know, computers were just coming out, they just buy a whole new computer, and it's like, oh well, this motherboard's perfect, you know, this hard drive is amazing, right? There's the SATA cable. I used to rip SATA cables out of old PCs because I wanted to have more storage on the home computer. So I'd rip SATA cables and plug in more hard drives. But I digress. I say all that because like everything is just so different now, right? Everything is so different, and everything is so fast paced. Like I can go on my phone right now and understand and download somebody's perspective on anything that I want to know about. Recently, my TikTok has been flooded with car things like JDMs. I don't know specifically what JDM stands for, but if I had to guess, like Japanese manufacturing, Japanese domestic manufactured, something like that. And so I personally, I own a Honda Civic, and, always think it's cool to like trick out the car, like that's fun. That's cool. But so I was like, I like saw one video on a car, and then all of a sudden my whole TikTok feed is just covered in vehicles, right? In different, S2000s, you know, even Kia Stingers are popping up, and I'm like, I don't want to drive a Kia Stinger. But okay, I digress. I don't want to keep talking about cars. My point in saying that, though, is that everything has gotten much larger. It just snowballed exponentially beyond what I think anyone would have imagined if you were like around back in 2011. There's a great number of people, obviously now, you know, if you're born in 2011, you're now 13 years old, which is insane to me. And like, I don't mean to be that guy who's in his mid 20s, early mid 20s. That's like, oh man, I can't believe people born this date and this year are now this age, right? Like that gets annoying, especially for when you're a younger individual, because you feel like you're being talked down to. So I don't mean it in that way. What I mean it in, though, is that if there's an individual listening in that demographic, like you don't know, like you haven't experienced everything that we had to experience, right? Like your upbringing is very different, right? The iPad kid phenomena is used as a slight against those generations of children. But like, why? Because it's not the child's fault. I know for sure if I was a child and handed an iPad and told to play these games, I would have loved that. Are you kidding me? That would have been the best thing ever. But for some reason, instead of blaming the parents, we blame the kids. And sometimes the parents are at fault, right? And we do blame them as a society. But when you think about it, like we want that to be the case. We don't want to hear the child screaming and throwing a fit and getting upset. We want them to be sitting on their iPad nice and quiet and calm and doing nothing, right? We don't want to have to think about the kids. Seen but not heard. Excuse me. And I think that the way in which society and technology have moved forward together has only increased the amount of anxiety that everyone feels every single day. And I hear the rhetoric all the time, whether it's, people that are my parents' age talking to me about what they think I believe or agree with them on, and kind of just talking about how the kids are so soft these days. Everyone has anxiety. It's like, yeah, man, everyone is going through it. Everyone's anxious about something because everyone else's lives are on full blast in front of us. I can't not feel anxious, right? Like, I recently had like a pretty significant like anxiety event, I'll call it, and I don't want to get too much into the details because I don't think it's important for this story or this kind of like commentary. Oh, and there you guys can see that yes, in fact, this was live, and clearly, guys, the chat is not moving very quickly. But if you want to help move it quicker, twitch.tv/Pompey Live. Shameless plug. But all that to say, like, everyone else's life, is in my face, right? Like, I'm seeing, the amazing things that the people I grew up with are now doing. The amazing jobs they're getting, where they're moving. They're moving to big cities like New York, Washington, D.C., Chicago, all of these. And I'm still near my hometown. Not to say I haven't achieved things, not to say that I'm not accomplished, but like, I feel like my life isn't in my control. I feel like a lot of my life has been happenstance, has been chance, or just simply has been a figment of the situations I've been in and not something that I've chosen to dive headfirst into. I'm very fortunate in what I do every day. I'm very fortunate in the ways that I make money. I'm very fortunate in the jobs that I have. I have 2 primary jobs. salaried job, so which is amazing. I worked hourly for a very, very long time. Paid my way through college. Of course, got help from family members as well as loans, things like that. Like a lot happened, and there is, of course, things for me to be happy with or feel pride in. But this is the thing, right? And I think this is the kind of the crux of the entire video, and this is really where I'm trying to go with this. Is this channel is a way for me to exist and choose and potentially find success in something I want to do. Potentially find something that I have elected to do from its inception. What I mean by that is the job that I work primarily from my college degree that I have. I chose my college degree because people told me I had qualities that would fit being a lawyer. So I went to school and I got a degree that would help me be better in law school. My senior year of college, I came to the realization, amidst a great number of other events in my life that kind of all crashed at once, I didn't want to be a lawyer. I didn't want to work super long hours, or I didn't want to do that, right? The effort that it would take to be a lawyer was not something I was interested in putting in. I didn't want to do the work. And I'm not ashamed to say that. Like, I just simply didn't want to do that work. And I think that there is a pressure on society where kids at 16 years old need to start thinking about what they want to do for the rest of their life. The rest of your life. And if you're someone who's experiencing that right now, I'm sorry. I feel bad for you. I genuinely do. I think it's awful. There is a great stigma placed on things like community college. Going to a small community college and getting general classes out of the way. Some people nowadays, I think it's a little bit better, will go through and kind of be like, oh yeah, like that's a good idea. You should do that. But at the same time, anytime a kid posts, I got into X giant state university or private university, or I'm studying abroad or doing all this, whatever, that's celebrated. And it should be. It should be celebrated. But we don't really celebrate the other things as well. We try and promote trades, but we don't celebrate trades, right? We don't celebrate people who do hard work every day. We celebrate the people who have kind of just gotten a jump in life. We celebrate the people who got lucky on the first pick. They decided to go for something, and please excuse me mining gravel here with a pickaxe. I don't know what I was doing. So sorry. But getting back to the point, like, I feel as though my life is not in my own control. And I think, like, I really mean that. Like, I woke up the other day feeling really sad. And by the way, this is crazy that I just found diamonds here. And throughout, I have a ton of footage from this stream, guys. And if you want to go check it out, please do. The VOD is up. But holy crap, I would just randomly find diamonds walking in these tunnels. Minecraft is crazy nowadays. A little sidebar, I remember being 9 years old playing Minecraft, and it would take me hours to find a single diamond. And, now I'm just walking through caves and stumbling across them. But I digress. This channel, this video, and furthermore, the continuation, hopefully, of what I'm doing here, this kind of commentary style channel, is really just so I can say what I want to say. I can speak what I'm interested in speaking, and I can do something I'm choosing to do. And for many of you, maybe this doesn't make a ton of sense. Maybe this is weird. Maybe it's like cringe because I'm posting a YouTube video that's likely not going to get a ton of views. But ultimately, I think that's fine. And I don't know that I'll ever upload this. I don't know that I'll ever do another one. There's a great number of things that I'm not fully sure on yet. I know that right now, in this moment, I streamed, figured out exactly what I wanted to turn that stream into a YouTube video, exactly how I wanted to do that, and figured out what I wanted to talk about. And that's kind of all the thought I'm putting into it. I don't have some grand business model. If I wanted to be a 20,000 viewer streamer, I'm sure there's strategy and tactics that I would have to learn about and go into. And I feel like that just, again, makes it disingenuous, right? Why is streaming no longer about finding a community, a figure and community that you're interested in being a part of? I've talked a decent amount about kind of old YouTube, I'll say, right? 2011. I mentioned Captain Sparkles, PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, all those people. But maybe the question that you've thought of is, why Pompeii? Why Pompeii as the name for your video gaming, your gamer tag? Why did you choose that? And it does come back down to old YouTube and Twitch and what it used to be with communities, and having someone that you enjoyed watching because you liked their personality, you liked the way they spoke, you liked what they stood for, and you liked the content they made. And not to say that doesn't exist now. It definitely does in some capacity, but I just don't think it's as genuine as it used to be. Now it's about being a millionaire in Hollywood. See, that's crazy with diamonds. Are we seeing that? That is crazy with the diamonds. And of course, it's Fortune 3 pickaxe. So I'm just getting a ton. I think I have 15 diamonds by this point. That's just insane. Excuse me. But the name Pompeii actually came from a YouTuber and streamer by the name of Jericho. I was a big Captain Sparkles fan growing up. Loved his Minecraft videos, Minecraft series, and he was a part of something called Mionite. That's where I got introduced to Jericho and Syndicate, and they did a whole kind of almost role play style series together, and it was awesome. As a little kid, and even looking back on what it is, it's so cool. It's so cool. But so I got started watching this Jericho guy, and I just thought he always felt very authentic. And so this is about the time that I needed to start making names on things, gamer tags. And I ended up being I like history. My dad was always a huge history guy. We used to watch the History Channel, watch war movies, all that, right? And I was okay, Jericho. What about Pompeii? It's a town. It's a place. It's an event, right? People know Pompeii, but they don't really know Mount Vesuvius, right? They think Pompeii is the volcano, but it's not. Pompeii is the tragedy. Pompeii is the people who never got to finish out their lives, right? Who had their lives ripped away from them. Pompeii is time, right? Pompeii is life moving quicker than you're okay with it moving, right? Pompeii is realistically how I feel. I feel like I blinked and I'm 23 years old and I have a decent full-time job, but I know I want so much more, and I have all these worries about where I'm going to end up and how I'm going to be in 20 more years. Am I going to look back in 20 years and wish I would have done things differently? Wished I could have done this or that, or experienced this or experienced that? Am I going to be sad about where my life is? Because if I'm being honest, getting old, oh, this is sad. What was I doing? Oh my gosh, y'all. for being someone who is building their brand around playing Minecraft, I'm not good at it. I'm so sorry. You're about to watch the most infuriating gameplay if you choose to stick around. Excuse me. But I think I want to end this video here, and just I want to end with the idea that there is nothing wrong with speaking to the people you hold dear, to the people that are close to you, just speaking about what you think, how you feel, what you're experiencing, what you're going through. No one is truly alone. And I think that oftentimes we make ourselves more isolated than we are as a form of protection. I know that that's something that I do as a person. And I don't mean to say that because I do it, everyone else does it, right? I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is I believe it's way more common than not. And just give yourself some grace in these next few days. As you're going through things, just, let's see, I finally remembered I had a shovel. As you're going through these next few days and just thinking to yourself about, what do you want to do, right? If you're someone who is in a moment of crisis in life where you're rethinking your choices, embrace that. That's okay. It's so okay. There is no playbook on how to be an adult. There's no playbook on what you can and cannot do. And regardless, your life is your life. No one else's life. It's not your parents' life. It's not your siblings' life. It's not your best friend's life. It is only yours. So whatever you choose to do with it is amazing. Not because anyone else said it was, but because you have chosen to do it. All right, everyone. I think that's gonna be enough for now. Thank you so much for coming out, listening, and staying the whole time. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe on the YouTube. If you're interested in hearing me talk and rant and blabber on and on about nothing and everything all at the same time, and please make sure to go follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Pompey Live. And yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, evening, week, whatever it is, whenever you're going through it. I hope you get through it. Okay. Bye, everyone.